Hi, it's Jonathan from the London Middlesex Master Gardeners, and today we're going to talk about a subject that gardeners often don't think of as a possibility to encroach on and enjoy, and that's the world of bonsai. So one of the trees that we're going to talk about today as far as bonsai is in the sequoia family. It's a dawn redwood. And if you were walking in the Civic Gardens here in London, you would see this beautiful dawn redwood, probably around 60 feet high now and about 45 years old, and say to yourself, oh, I wish I could make that into a bonsai. Well, guess what? You're absolutely right. You could make it into a bonsai, because here is a dawn redwood, and it is also 45 years old. So the possibilities of making any sort of tree into a small scale that you can have on your bench or in your garden will certainly work out. The dawn redwood has a little history. Up until the 1940s, it was thought to be an extinct tree. But in China, they found a complete grove of these dawn redwoods, and seeds were proliferated across the globe. Since then, those trees have been planted everywhere in gardens and parks, and that's why we have the opportunity now to have the dawn redwood back in our gardening world. Hi, it's Jonathan again from the London Master Gardeners, and today we're going to be discussing styles of bonsai trees. At the end of this video, there will be a link that you can access to look at all the different styles that there really are. I'm going to cover just a couple of, two or three of the main styles. The first one, this pine tree, Otiri pine, is a slanting style, and obviously with the flow of the tree, it really conforms to the Japanese style that is in the link that you'll see. These two particular trees are twisted styles. This is a Chinese elm, and you've seen this tree before. It's the dawn redwood. Behind it is a boxwood tree, a regular nursery tree that I'm training to look like the broom style. And when you look at the link, you'll see a broom style. This particular tree is a gardenia, and this is going to be trained as a formal upright tree. So it's basically a straight trunk with branches coming out like a normal tree. Also, we have things like group plantings. This is actually a small grouping of lemon trees that I've started from seed last year. But this is a group planting over here that is cultivated in an entire different manner. And we'll cover that in another episode. This one is truly interesting. This particular style is windswept, and this is the smallest bonsai tree that I have in the windswept manner. I have some larger ones that we'll cover later in another episode. But I hope you've enjoyed looking at some of the styles, and access the link and pick a style that you really like and decide, that's what I want to create. It's very easy. Hi, it's Jonathan again from the London Middlesex Master Gardeners, and today's episode is going to build on the styles that we just previously discussed. One of the things you're going to do is you decide, I like this style, I like that style, and then you're going to have to go out and find a tree to suit that style. In this particular case, I'm going to talk about a group planting. Now, group plantings can be done in one or two ways. Separate trees, like these little lemon trees here, or separate trees that you get that you can plant with one large tree that is the focal point with smaller trees in the distance. But another way to have a group planting is like this, is a very unconventional method called a raft. And a raft is nothing more than one single plant that you turn into a group planting. And you say, well, how is that possible? Well, here's a single plant right here. If I turn this plant on its side, like this, and then I wire these branches to come up like this, suddenly I have a group planting with down at this end of this particular planter, which is serrated, as you can see, so that air can get in and feed the roots. The root ball of this particular planting is at this end of the planter, and it's laying down on its side. The main trunk is going all underneath the soil, and from that, roots will proliferate over the next 1 to 2 years. You have to be patient with bonsai. They're not instantaneous gratifications. But as you can see, a year ago I started this, and you'd never know that this was only one particular shrub. Actually, it's a Blas juniper, and it probably cost about $12 at a nursery. So for $12 and a couple of little containers and some soil, you've got a whole group planting, and you've now executed what your dream style was. So the whole theory behind having a slotted, like I said earlier, a slotted container is when you're watering your planting, the water carries oxygen through this very porous material, feeds the roots, and then escapes out on this side. When the roots hit this side, they will stop growing, and then they will start to bud back on the root branches, making nice filiary roots, which is exactly what you want in a bonsai, or any plant for that matter. But in this particular case, we're doing everything we possibly can to make this a successful planting. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a look at all of the different styles, decide what it's going to be, and then go to the nursery and pick out a tree.